In this video, I'm going to break down how you can book between 40 and 60 sales calls each month for your agency and how I use this exact method to scale to 40,000 per month in 30 days back in 2020. Hey, what's going on everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So if you've seen my content before, you know I've run paid ads to get clients for my agency, but I wanted to actually show you guys just how profitable it can be for you in month one and how you can implement this into your own business. So make sure to stay till the end of the video for that breakdown. In a few of my previous videos, I've spoken about the power of running paid ads for your agency, yet every other marketing guru you see says you shouldn't run ads unless you're hitting 10 or 15,000 per month, even though 90% of their clients come from paid ads. Now, of course, there are some things that you need to understand before running ads. Even if you have some money to spend, if you don't understand sales, closing deals, your niche, and haven't conducted your market research, you're not going to close them. The reason I love paid ads, and I'll dive deeper into this shortly, is it's a predictable and reliable way to set meetings that doesn't require you to spend 3, 4, 5, or 6 hours per day doing manual outreach, as well as the dynamic of the whole conversation. They're coming to you rather than you going to them. So firstly, I want to touch on some of the pros and cons of both paid and organic methods. Most of you watching this probably have never considered paid ads for yourself, even if you have some money to spend. Organic is where we're all told to go because it's cheap and easy to test multiple different offers to really find out what works and cut out all the stuff that doesn't. So you can really validate what's good and what's not in your agency. You can also outsource and automate it easily with very little money, so it doesn't really require the capital to test. Now, some of the downsides are obviously it can take a lot of time. If you're doing it manually to send the required numbers of messages to get enough appointments, it's going to take a while. Now, of course, like I said, you can automate it, but there's still time it takes to learn the software to do that. It's also not going to be a predictable and reliable way to bring in clients long term. As you scale, maybe some people have mastered it, but for me, it just hasn't been as good as paid ads. Now, another downside to organic is that the calls will be less qualified. What I mean by that is you're reaching out to them. It's a cold interaction. They don't even know who you are, and you don't know how serious they are about your service. Like I said, it's a different dynamic, and because they're not coming to you. As a result of this, that means you're going to get a lower show-up rate because they just might not be too serious about a service like yours. This is why your offer is so important. To reduce the chances of this happening, we need to get crystal clear about who we're servicing, what your offer is, and only provide a solution to the niche's biggest problems. If you do this, then you can counteract the issue that maybe they didn't have the intent to buy initially, but after seeing what you could possibly solve for them, they are suddenly interested, if that makes sense. Then we have a poorer closing rate, and that's just because we couldn't get enough people with intent on calls. Again, this is why you must have a good offer. When I turned my ads on, I was effectively starting at zero, but I did have some experience and I had scaled my agency to 15K per month. I knew how to deliver results and, of course, close clients. So I did have some experience here. Now I'm going to briefly touch on why I love paid ads, and the first reason is you can consistently book calls and get leads. It's like a tap. You can turn it on and off when you like. If you need more calls, you can turn it on, and if you're at capacity, then you can turn it off. So you're in complete control with how many calls you get. Once you find winning campaigns and you're consistently booking in calls, all you need to do is increase the budget and you'll get more. The next, which is very powerful, is just the overall position you come from. When you're doing organic outreach, it's almost a position of weakness because you're coming to them, whereas when you run paid ads, they're coming to you, and it completely shifts the tone of the sales calls. You'll have more respect, their intent will be higher, and so on. Unlike organic, when it comes to grinding to get someone on the phone, it's now the easiest thing in the world, and that was the aha moment for me. You're also going to be growing your social media accounts and become that go-to guy or gal in that niche. you'll be known, and that's going to create no lack in trust because prospects will see your ads each day. The longer you run them, the more they will see them, which means you'll be top of mind. This is key because after 4 to 6 months of running ads, your costs will go down, your email list will have grown, you're having better conversations, you won't really need to sell people. The other way to do this that isn't paid is YouTube content, and in my opinion, that's the only thing that sort of is on par. But again, that takes longer than the paid method. The prospects that come through your funnel will be easier to close, like I said, due to positioning, and your closing rate will increase as a result of this. I can't tell you how different this all was when I was, implementing this for the first time. Have you guys ever seen the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks? Anyway, he was stranded on an island by himself for nearly a decade, I believe, and there's a scene where he's busy just trying to light a fire. He cuts himself, he's frustrated, and all of a sudden, he does it. And the sheer happiness and joy in that moment is exactly how I felt.
Fire! Look what I have created!
All right, so there are a couple of cons, and the first one is it can be expensive. So when I was starting out to run paid ads, I started with $500 or $600, which I turned into $8,500, cash collected in 7 days. Now, those are some pretty insane results, so don't think you can do that as well, but I'm going to go through some numbers in a moment. You also want to have a strategy in place, because if you don't, you might as well donate that money to charity because you're going to lose it. It's also a higher risk, right? So if you listen to a lot of other gurus, they will say you can't run ads because you haven't validated your offer. Now, the key to this, and you must do this beforehand, is to do your market research. You must study your niche and speak to business owners about their pains, problems, their desires, what keeps them up at night, what is the one thing that they would want solved, and why is it important for them. This right here is the most pivotal step, and one that's often overlooked because it's not fun. You should speak to between 25 and 50 business owners, and you'll find that most of them will give you the same 2 or 3 answers that they want solved. Once you know this, that's what you should base your offer around. And that goes for organic as well. You should always talk to your niche first. Now, if you have done your market research, you understand sales, and you understand how to deliver results, and you've got some money to invest, then paid ads will be the one thing that catapults your business forward far quicker than anything else. With the market research, there are a few things that I could obviously help you with if that's what you're looking for as well. It'd also be a good idea to have someone in your corner that's done it before, so you can make sure everything's being set up and done correctly. So now I want to actually take you through some numbers and some of the maths behind what you can expect. I'm going to show you my numbers when I first launched and then give you a scenario. Okay, so I spent $650 on ads, I believe, over 7 days, with my offer being 10 guaranteed leads each month or your money back. This resulted in me getting 45 leads at a cost of $14 per lead. Now, I had a pretty high show up rate because, real estate agents are always on their phone, which was around 80%. Now, I closed, I think it was about 30% of people, maybe a little bit more, like 35, which resulted in 10 sales at $849 each. So that was the maths on my first week running ads. All right, now I'm going to take you through the maths on a scenario on what you could expect when you run ads for yourself. Now, please keep in mind though, I'm going to give you conservative numbers and the worst case scenario, okay? So it's very clear. All right, let's say we have $1,000 in ad spend, and let's say our service fee is $1,250 per month, $1,250 per month. Now look, this is low, but I'm going to use this for an example because I think it's important to just show how powerful this strategy is. Now, let's also assume that you've got a 3-month minimum, which brings up our lifetime value of a customer to $3,750, right? We can also safely assume leads will cost $20, which means out of $1,000 ad spend, we're going to get 50 leads. Now, if you have a good offer, in my opinion, previous students' results, you can get more like, $10 to $15 cost per lead. But again, I'm being conservative. The average call book ratio is 10%. but let's say it's 5%. Essentially, it means anyone who clicked through, submits their details, they'll also book in a call. So it's just higher in 10. That brings us to 3 people who will book a call directly. Now, that's going to leave us with 47 leads to qualify and manually book in ourselves. The lead to appointment ratio is around 45% on average, but let's say it's closer to 35%, meaning out of 47 leads you called, only 16 of them actually book in a call to speak with you. Now that gives us a total of 19 calls booked, which isn't, even 1 call per day. At an average closing rate of 25%, you close 4.75 clients. That leaves us with a total cash collected of $5,000 if you close 4 clients and $6,250 if you close 5. This leaves us with a return on ad spend of 4.75x or 6x on the higher end. Remember, this is just upfront revenue. Now, if we factor in lifetime value, just on the fact we closed 4 clients, that's $15,000 in revenue on a worst case scenario. So that should give you an idea on what you can expect from month 1 by running paid ads for your agency. And again, this is conservative, so you'll be able to see if costs are even a little higher, then you're still going to be extremely profitable. You need to make sure that you've conducted your market research, have a good offer that resonates with your niche, good creatives, good ad copy, as well as a high converting VSL. If you want help with this, then feel free to book in a call. If you just want help to even start an agency, then go ahead, book in a free call as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.